Oh my god, it's literally just hitting me. It makes sense. Yeah, Hot Wheels 2.0 confirmed. Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy Stonix come back at you with another lady video. So today we're going to be talking about Forza Horizon 4 and what the possible second expansion for Forza Horizon 4 could be. So before we do get too far ahead of ourselves, a lot of the information and a lot of my opinions given in this video are built off of AR12's recent video talking about the second expansion. So definitely go check that out before you watch this video, because then it'll kind of make more sense. But let's just jump right into it. So obviously, normally expansions for the Forza Horizon games come out in like April and May, but it's like the last day of April and we haven't even heard anything about the next expansion yet. To be completely honest with you, it seems somewhat unlikely that it's going to come out in May. If it did come soon, it would probably come in May, but like I said, it's kind of unlikely, and that'll make more sense here in a minute. Just hear me out. So previously, we have heard that Playground Games does want to do more than 2 expansions for Forza Horizon 4, because like with the previous games, what they did is they released 2 expansion packs, then the next game came out. With this one, we're going to be getting at least 3 expansion packs, maybe 4, but I don't think that's the case, and like I said, I have a reason for that, so just hear me out for a minute. So my theory for that is basically, because we're not getting a Forza Motorsport 8 this year, they don't really have a Forza title for E3 this year, as far as we know anyways. They could have done what they did with Forza Horizon 4, not said anything about it, and absolutely surprised us with something, which could totally be the case, but I just don't get the feeling that that is the case. And AR12 did mention that he believes that Forza Street kind of stole the release date for where Expansion 2 would have come out, but my thinking is, obviously, Forza Street is not a Forza game. It's just not. If you know what Forza Street is, then you can agree with that. If you don't know, then you're doing good. But I think what they did is they used Forza Street to kind of tide us over until we can get expansion 2 for Forza Horizon 4, which honestly kind of makes sense. And I believe the reason that the second expansion isn't coming out at around the same date that all the other expansions have for the previous games. So for one, like I said, we're not getting Forza Motorsport 8 this year. That's just how it's going to be, because they want to focus on Forza 7, which means that they're going to have to push Forza Horizon 4. Normally a Forza Horizon game would only have a lifespan of about 2 years before the next one would come out. But this one is going to have at least 3, because obviously there's not going to be a Forza title this year as far as we know, which would push kind of the development years back a little bit. It's a little confusing the way it works, but it just basically means that Forza Horizon 4 is going to have to last an extra year. If you think about it this way, if they do 3 expansions, it would kind of make sense. It would kind of even things out and help push Forza Horizon 4 along an extra year. So obviously you have Forza Horizon 4 came out early October. Then you have the first map expansion, Fortune Island, which came out in December, only a couple of months after the game came out. Then we have this second one coming out during the summer, supposedly during June. Then, if all goes according to plan and how we are predicting this to go, if they do announce the second expansion at E3 this year, then I would imagine it's going to come out just after or same day, but I highly doubt same day, because I want to try and build up the hype a little bit more, but I do believe that it'll come out shortly after E3 if it's announced there, which that would make sense, because then that would kind of even things out, like I said, with the expansion. So then you have the second expansion coming out in June, and then expansion 3 would probably come out around December or January. We have absolutely no idea, because they've never done that, so we have nothing to go off of, but like I said, this is just my prediction. I believe that they could release it in December or January, just because then that would push us a little bit further, and then after that third expansion we'd have 4 or 5 months until E3 2020, where the next big Forza game can be announced, whether that be Forza Motorsport 8 or Forza Horizon 5. So moving on, what will the expansion be? I know a lot of people have talked about a Hot Wheels 2.0 expansion, and I'll kind of give my opinion on that in just a little bit, but it's very possible, and I'll explain it here in a minute. So recently, Playground Games made a tweet basically announcing their Update 9 livestream, because if you don't know, they like to do these monthly live streams where they kind of showcase what's new and coming for the next month in Forza Horizon 4, and they basically tweeted out their announcement of when that stream is going to be, which is going to be May 7th, so next Tuesday, and at the end of this tweet, it says, "A little goes a long way." Now, we'll come back to that, and I'll make a little bit more sense here in a minute. So let's throw together a little bit of a possible timeline of how this could be playing out. So first off, Expansion 2 gets announced or teased with some kind of trailer next Tuesday on May the 7th. Then the second expansion gets fully revealed with gameplay and more info at E3 2019, on June 9th, which is a Sunday, which would also make sense considering they don't have any other Forza title to really announce as far as we know. So if they don't have another Forza title, this would be a good way to kind of get the hype back to Forza Horizon 4, as that would be the main Forza title for E3 2019 for the second year, which would hopefully help, because if you obviously don't know, Horizon 4 is very, very dead. Nobody's really playing it because there's a lot of issues with it, and the community has a lot of issues with it, and it just kind of feels like Playground Games isn't really listening to us. Maybe they are. Maybe they've got some tricks up their sleeves and they're just kind of working on some stuff that they just don't want to talk about or announce yet. But right now, it just kind of feels like they're just straight up not listening to us. We'll get back to that later. But then number 3, AR12 predicts that it will drop the following Thursday, June 13th, because obviously that's when Playground Games likes to release their updates and stuff like that, and obviously the season always changes on a Thursday. So it's very likely that it could be released on June 13th, but it's just prediction. We have nothing to go off. We don't really know. What is expansion 2? So like I said, most people are predicting a Hot Wheels 2.0 expansion, which would already make sense. However, there's already 4 Hot Wheels cars in Forza Horizon 4, so they would have to find at least 4 to 8 more. I mean, wouldn't really be too hard. There's millions of Hot Wheels cars out there that are pretty interesting that they could probably add, but with them already adding these Hot Wheels cars, it just kind of seems somewhat unlikely, you know what I mean? Also, I know Playground Games always likes to make new ways to play their game. Obviously, Fortune Island was kind of like a rehash of Storm Island, so it's kind of really not a new way to play, and that was the first time that Playground Games hasn't really, you know, made something brand new and a new idea. So they could follow the trend of doing something that they did before, maybe just better, and do a Hot Wheels 2.0, or they could try and not do that, hopefully, and find a new way to play Horizon 4, which I know it's not easy to think of new ways to play a car racing game, but they did very well with introducing Storm Island when it first came out. They did very good with Hot Wheels and Horizon 3, of course, so I don't know. Also, the stream recap in the last Forza monthly live stream has this little thing that says mini cars, which AR12 made the point that it could be little toy cars like Hot Wheels, so that could be a little hint pointing towards Hot Wheels. I also had the thought of it if it literally meant Mini Coopers, but I don't think that's the case. So let's go back to that tweet that Playground Games made announcing that Update 9 livestream. At the very end, it says a little goes a long way. So again, a little goes a long way. Hot Wheels kind of seems likely at the moment from the hints that we are getting. So going back to the Hot Wheels expansion idea, should they do it again? In my opinion, they can, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as good as it was back in Forza Horizon 3, simply because Hot Wheels just wouldn't really fit in the Britain scene. It really worked in Australia because you have like the big oceans and it's got like a tropical vibe, but with Britain, I feel like it would get very bland very quick. Like, I know Horizon 4 is meant to be like super colorful, but if you guys kind of feel the same vibe I do, it looks colorful, but at the same point, it looks very bland. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't know if anyone else gets that feeling, but that's just how I feel with Horizon 4 and the location choice. So if they weren't to make a Hot Wheels expansion, what should they make? So do you guys remember those bridges at the top of the map? I think what would be very cool, and they've never done anything like this in a Horizon game. With most Horizon games, when they release an expansion, you have to go to this little spot and then you fast travel to the new map or whatever. I think what would be really cool is if they actually used those bridges, and you would literally, it would be like an actual map expansion where you have the main map and then you have the bridges. And honestly, if we were able to drive on those would be perfect for like mile-long drag races or like roll races or something like that. And then just drive on those bridges and there's a whole nother map. You don't even have to fast travel anything. They've never done that, so I think that'd be really, really cool, and I think it's a really cool idea. If they don't ever use those bridges in the entire lifetime of Horizon 4, that's honestly just a waste, because there was a lot of hype built around it and there was a lot of people who were anticipating that they were going to do an expansion on it. So if they don't do it, it's a missed opportunity. It really is. But my question to you is, what do you want to see Playground Games make for an expansion pack? Like, even if it's not in the next expansion, which is coming out in like a little over a month, if you were able to make your own expansion in Forza Horizon 4, what would that be? What would that look like? I want to know. Let me know down in the comments below.
Oh, no.
So as I was editing this, Playground Games tweeted this picture out with the quote saying #TorbinTuesday, which is their thing, showing Mr. Torbin here playing the game and some on the whiteboard, and they try to mess around with us and try and put little stupid stuff on the whiteboard because they know we like to point little things out like that. And now, there's a lot of things in this picture. Of course, these pictures always have these little teasers of what's to come in Forza Horizon 4. So let's start off with the first thing that I noticed. So if you look at the cases of the games that is sitting next to his consoles and his monitor, Forza Horizon 3 is on top. Now obviously, what expansion was most popular for Forza Horizon 3? Hot Wheels. Alright, doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it could. But anyways, moving on. If you look behind his monitor, he has an old Mini sitting there. Now if you recall, mini cars, like the description of the Forza monthly livestream, a little goes a long way. minis are little cars. Alright, still nothing huge yet, but if you look on the monitor, he's playing Forza Horizon 4. What car is he in? He is in a Mini Cooper. So earlier in the video, I mentioned something about Mini Cooper, so obviously they're trying to say something with Mini Coopers here, so it could either literally be a Mini Cooper DLC, which would honestly be super lame, but if you think about it, where are Mini Coopers made? In the UK. It could be a Mini Cooper expansion somehow? Or maybe like the expansion 2 could be using those bridges, and I just noticed that was very weird, the fact that he had a Mini Cooper behind his monitor, and he's also driving a Mini Cooper, so there's that. And like I said, the Forza Horizon 3 thing of Hot Wheels and Horizon 3, I don't know if it means anything, but it totally could. And I was also trying to look on his other monitors, and I did see that on his right monitor, he looked up the Apollo program. If you don't know what the Apollo program is, essentially what it was is back in the day, they had like these different Apollo missions where they would send astronauts to the moon. So that got me here thinking, Apollo, space, what, like, are we getting like a space DLC, or like what, something with space? What's happening here? Was that just coincidentally there, pointing or hinting at something? Because I genuinely don't know. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's on his middle monitor, but it looks similar to like some sort of like dev build kind of thing where you can go in and change different values for what would happen in the game. And I was looking at their whiteboard, and I don't see anything that's actually like of value, because they have something like with car insurance on there and something written down MCT. I have no idea what that would mean. If you know, then tell me. Chicken's not fast enough. Rockets question mark. Wait, I've just had an epiphany. Why is there a thing that says rockets question mark and then the Apollo? It's a, oh my god. It's literally just hitting me. It makes sense. Hear me out. If it's a Hot Wheels DLC and a car has rockets on it, right? It would make sense. Rockets. Then you have the Apollo program, which obviously you need rockets to get into space. And then he has rockets question mark on the board. Bro, it's making sense. It's most likely a okay, no, it's definitely a Hot Wheels DLC. There's no way it's not. Come on. Oh my god. It literally just hit me just now. It's a Hot Wheels DLC. I already shared my opinion on how I feel about it, but yeah. Hot Wheels 2.0 confirmed. Anyways, back to the original video for the outro. There's so much stuff coming to the channel. I'm literally so excited. I've got big videos coming over the next week or two. I've got more cars and coffee videos coming, so if you guys like the one that was released yesterday, then definitely get hyped, because there's more where that came from. But anyways, my name is Stonix or Lance. Don't forget, stay strong and just keep pushing forward. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.